video transmission. We're live.
In 5, 7, 3, 2,
Man can't count. What's your name?
1.
Elephant.
What's his name?
Cyrus.
Jake.
Jason.
Are we live?
Yes.
Oh, I am Thrincent Gripple, and this is Carbon Based. Welcome out there in the dark and damp recesses of the interwebs to all you sweet and supple sausage casings. On this week's episode, I don't know. I haven't been told what the topic was. So
It's a nice surprise.
That's part of the fun.
Supernatural phenomenon this week.
I'm going to throw it over to my co-hosts. Gentlemen, introduce yourselves, moan softly, or touch yourselves without anyone ever knowing.
Oh, I do that every day.
I'm not wearing any pants today.
He sure isn't.
I'm Cyrus Parker.
I don't have balls. Jake.
What a shame. It seems I've lost my balls in the war. It's a real shame.
Was
My
it
name's Jason.
1812?
It was, in fact, 1812.
Well then. Looks
Man.
like I gained a pair of balls.
Not a minute into the show, and it's already cringy.
Very much.
Come back next week, and
We might be more cringy. Who knows?
you'll get more of this
It'd be pretty hard to beat this.
irresistible content.
I mean, it's pretty great here. You should always come
Thrinsy.
back.
So let's get it started. I mean, we live in PA, kind of the
Land of Skinwalkers.
the hub of either Native American supernatural phenomenon or just your random, what is it, like just nothingness that just seems to be terrifying.
We live in the heart of Appalachia.
Yep.
And Appalachia, as everyone knows, is rife with cryptids and cryptid theory.
Yeah.
What's the saying on the Appalachian Trail? Stay on the trail.
The saying on the Appalachian Trail is "Beware the long deer."
Yeah. Also, never walk through two trees that look suspiciously like a portal.
If you see 4 white trees
Specific.
in a line, run as fast as you can.
Never turn your back, though. Make sure you're always looking.
Oh, wait. Make sure you're always running backwards.
And don't eat the soup.
Obviously.
Yes, if there is a random man offering you soup, it is a devil.
Or if there's soup in a tree, don't eat that either.
Soup in a tree?
Yeah, like a tree stump. Have you never seen soup tree stumps?
You guys don't want the primordial soup?
Like which soup?
Which soup? Weird.
Like, was it made in the stump?
Yeah.
Shane, you are, Thrinskers or
Thripley.
Thripley. I don't remember.
Thrincent.
Thrinson.
Thrinsons?
Gripple.
You partake in the wooded adventures oftentimes. Have you seen what this man over here is talking about? A tree stump filled with delicious soups and stews?
Oh yeah, all the time. Once you get a certain distance from the trail, you're almost guaranteed to encounter the fabled wooded soup.
It's like a natural bowl.
But don't eat the soup.
You don't.
So is this a natural phenomenon or
Nobody
is something
knows.
making this?
Nobody
soup?
knows.
It's a great question. We don't know.
Yeah, ancient legend tells that the soup is a briny discharge that bubbles up from the abyssal depths of the subterranean caverns beneath the Appalachian soil. And
Appalachian soil.
Yes, it's fabled to have a great deal of mystical qualities, including but not limited to spontaneous dismemberment, consecutive moisture,
Just
howling,
getting moist out there?
howling shingles, and sponge tooth.
Sponge tooth.
Yes.
And if I'm not wrong, it's a skinwalker's second favorite food.
Yeah,
What's his
where there
first?
is where there is the wooded soup, a skinwalker lies nearby. That's the old adage.
It's its
Oh,
second.
the
yeah.
old adage.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Just turn around and find your good old pal.
So have
Bully.
any of you, swear or maybe thought you saw the skinwalker, or maybe even what's that
Okay.
other thing, the not a deer phenomenon,
So
where it's not quite an animal?
once upon a time. Now, I will preface this by saying I've never had any experiences with what could be considered a skinwalker or, as you said, not a deer. But once upon a time, now listen, I am not a I saw Bigfoot guy. Let me just get that
I
out
wouldn't
here
judge you
now.
if you were.
All right, if anyone that knows me knows that I'm not that type of dude. But one time, I used to live on an in an apartment that was affixed to a nearby horse farm, stables. And there's this large open pasture out back that led all the way up into the foothills of this nearby mountain range. And I used to, being an outdoorsy sort of man, I used to frequent the fields and the mountains nearby. Well, one evening I was out, afternoon I should say, I was out with the horses, just sort of sitting and enjoying the sunset. And my where I was sitting, I was on a fallen log, and the tree line was at my back.
Bad call.
And the horses, were just moseying around, doing horse stuff. And I started to notice that they were getting spooked. And that was a little weird, but I didn't really think anything of it. Until in the forest behind me, I heard a very large snapping sound. Not like something stepped on a stick, but like something stepped on like a branch. Like it's something large was in the woods behind me. And the
Sounds like Bigfoot.
the behavior of the
Getting
horses,
closer to Bigfoot.
the horses began to escalate in panic very quickly. And over the course of the next 10 seconds, these horses braying, neighing, kicking up on their rear legs, and then ultimately just bolting to the other side of the pasture, was enough for me to take a hint.
Yeah, I mean they were trying to help.
And I stood up and was like, fuck this, I'm out of here. And I started walking back towards my apartment through the pasture. But at this point, I was concerned enough to not turn my back on this tree line. So I'm like walking backwards through this pasture, watching the tree line to make sure that nothing is about to sprint out of the foliage on all fours
Yep.
towards me.
Yep.
That would be your luck.
And as I'm walking backwards, keeping my eyes on the foliage, the sun at this point is like just below the horizon. We're early evening now, and the interior of the forest itself has become fairly shaded, not super easy to see anymore. Now, I'm not saying that I saw Bigfoot, but what I did see as I was backing away was a very large shape pass from one tree behind another and then disappear behind this maintenance shed, barn, if you will. And I only saw it for a split second, and the darkness of the woods only let me see a rough silhouette. But I did note the trees that it passed through, and a branch on the first tree that it walked out from behind and past. And the next day I went back out there to measure how high this branch was, and this branch was like 12 feet off the ground.
Maybe it was Paul Bunyan.
And it was whatever, I don't know what it
Paul
was.
Bunyan is
but
a Bigfoot.
whatever it was,
No, he's a kaiju, Paul.
whatever it was bipedal and fucking huge.
It was the Statue of Liberty taking a nice stroll.
Yeah, if you guys didn't know, Paul Bunyan's a kaiju, and also one of the few American myths that came.
Is this what we've been reduced to, Jake? Just regurgitating other people's content?
No, but he
Was that someone else's content?
Yes.
We can't be labeled as the content.
No, it's a
thieves.
conversation. Is he a giant monster?
No, he's a Bigfoot.
Kaijus, statistically are incapable of existing outside of Japan.
That's fair. You know, you do have a fair point.
Canon.
I can see
Canon.
It's their lore, after all.
I mean, there was that terrible movie where the girl controlled one whenever she got into this little sandbox, but it would the kaiju would appear in Japan out of the river or whatever, but like nowhere near her. So like, are kaijus limited to Japan? Most likely.
Seems like Japan is cursed to deal with the kaijus,
Oh yeah, I
which
mean,
is why they build giant mechs.
they invented the kaiju.
Yeah, you know what? Considering all the frequency of huge monster attacks in Japan, you think that they would have been a little more chill about us dropping 2 nukes on them?
I mean, maybe.
You think they'd have better defenses
You'd
That's
think
fair.
they get nuked
if
every
they're
other
sitting
week.
there fighting kaiju? How
Yeah,
did
but
2
dude,
nukes drop them?
Here's the thing. how
Oh
often-
shit! Maybe we're why there's kaiju.
Maybe. Also,
We opened the sea.
All the nuclear fallout.
I have a fair question
Yep.
though. Why?
That's why Pacific Rim happened. That movie is
we're,
real life.
We're at fault here.
we are.
We owe reparations to Japan for their kaiju problems.
How many? Yeah, we do. But how many times have they won against the kaiju though? Don't they just walk back into the sea?
No. They get damaged enough, and then they retreat. So that means, theoretically, the kaiju. We don't know anything about the kaiju because the Japanese government is very secretive
Yeah,
about
they
it.
study them.
They make sure they send as much misinformation as possible. When's the last time you heard anything come out of Japan that was news-wise besides COVID?
Yeah, fair
Nothing.
point.
Nothing that comes out of Japan anymore is of any relevance.
Exactly.
Well-
you know why?
Because
Because they're covering up the kaiju problem.
No, it's because modern day Japan is a den of iniquity.
All right, you're using big words there,
It's
Thrinsers.
they're
But no,
they're a
there
culture
was-
of fucking degenerates
there-
now.
there
They went
was-
from the most honorable traditional culture in the world to a fucking den of degeneracy and horror.
It would be,
That's a wild take.
I would. That's you know what? He's not far off. And
He
you know
isn't.
what did that? America.
Anime.
America.
I mean, anime exists because of the bombs we dropped.
Anime.
Think about it. They were a I'm gonna go nerd a little bit. Sword and board only country. They had bows. They had their Zen archers. Blah blah blah. They had all that. And then we were like, hey, gun.
And then samurais loved guns.
And
all fell
then
apart.
the whole kind of how their country was run started to shift because guns made people stronger than they actually were, and then
No.
technology
No.
started
None of
getting
None of that
thrust
mattered.
in.
None of that mattered.
It does matter.
Anime was the decay of Japan.
And
It's
we-
not
and
by a
it's
long
a
shot.
disease on the world.
It's not.
Here's the thing, though.
And it has given pedophiles a platform to obscure their pedophilia by calling themselves weebs.
You might have a small point there.
Hard
I
take.
think
It's not a hard take, and I'll tell you why, Jake. I'll tell you why. Have you heard? Yeah, you have heard, because last episode we talked about this. Kinderschema.
what the fuck?
Kinderschema is the word that describes the attributes that the physical characteristics
yeah.
that something has that defines it as being cute. Right?
Oh, that-
And
okay, yeah.
Kinderschema is based off of the physical characteristics of children.
Yep.
You know what else is based off of Kinderschema? Anime.
I don't think all anime.
Anime is based off of
Okay.
Kinderschema, specifically the anime women that weebs are attracted to.
To be fair, I don't want to watch a guy.
Therefore, if you're attracted
In most
to
cases.
anime women whose facial structures are defined by the characteristics laid out under Kinderschema, you are attracted to children, ergo you're a pedophile.
Okay, so I will say there are some anime where
Yes.
there's like a 37-year-old woman and she's 14, and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
there's
yeah.
a girl who looks like a 12-year-old who's like 30.
Yes.
So
that
like
is-
I'd err on the side of Thrinzers over here, that I'll never get it right.
It's Thrinsent.
Thrinsent Maleficent.
Thrin for short.
I like Thrinzers. But I'll side on him because any of the animes where there's like a girl that
I
looks.
agree. I think that the I believe the term is lolly. I think that shit's dumb and
Yes,
gross.
yes, where like a 30 or 40-year-old woman looks like she's
The excuse
15,
that, yeah,
10.
I mean that's weird.
That's
too.
a pedophile hiding mechanism right there. I agree
Yes.
with that. But the other ones where they're like the women are like big titted, big ass or whatever for no fucking reason, I hate that shit too. But do I like the story in those in a lot of those anime more? Fuck yeah. If there's a whole episode of, what is it called, fan service?
fan service or like a beach episode. Or,
If there's a beach episode, skip.
Yeah.
Skip. I do not have time for it.
You know what else falls under this category
What?
of pedophiles and Kinderschema? Furries.
Furries?
I think it's just
furries.
bestiality.
No, because their fucking costumes that they wear are based off of Kinderschema.
It is.
I
about
don't
trying
think
to be
they are.
cute.
I think they're just based off of.
They're cartoonized animal costumes.
And
but they're not
anything-
like Kinderschema. I don't think so.
Most cartoonized things are Kinderschema
well, like for, like,
because cartoons are aimed at children.
Not all cartoons.
but they're not aimed at like trying to like I watch a lot of cartoons. I do. I love cartoons. I love anime. But I will say that I do like American-made cartoons. At least a good portion of them
Listen,
better.
there are
But I don't
there
think
are
they're
adult,
pedophile bait.
There are adult cartoons,
Yeah.
and an adult can enjoy children's cartoons.
Yeah.
That's totally fine. But when you attach a sexual nature
yeah, sexualized content. is dumb.
to
Are you talking about
children's
like
content, then you become a pedophile. This is
you-
anytime you put sexual content adjacent to children.
now what level of
you're in
sexual
fucking
content are you talking about?
pedophile territory. What do you mean?
So like are you talking about just like the main character has like a boyfriend or has a girlfriend or something? Like if the main character's a girl
No.
and
I'm talking about when people become sexually attracted
oh.
to characters in children's
So,
cartoons.
Are you
or
saying that
cartoons
they're
designed for children?
are you
Oh, yeah,
saying that they're
that's-
aiming at that, or are you saying
Who, the
that,
people making cartoons?
Yeah.
I mean, I
don't think
wasn't,
they
but I
are.
wouldn't be surprised if they were.
I think the American-made ones aren't, because there are a lot of characters that I could see people being like, oh my god, she's hot, blah, 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 blah. But I don't think that's how it was determined. Like
They have children's cartoons now that are using pronouns.
all right, yeah, I mean I don't
like,
agree with that, but I don't know.
They, thems, and shit.
So the latest one that I say would be probably the most progressive that Disney Plus wanted nothing to do with, even though it was without a doubt the best like teen to young adult to like mid-20s kind of aimed at content cartoon kind of thing. It's called Owl House. First two seasons. Oh my god, fucking amazing. The
It is
only thing
amazing.
that makes it progressive was the main character Luz was lesbian.
Yeah.
That's it. And they she had a crush on another girl in this other in the other world, but they didn't make the whole show about it. They didn't even make a little bit about the show. It was just that they cared for each other. So
It was
like,
just like a side.
if
piece.
one got hurt, the other one would like, do like that anime or cartoon thing where they'd get
Yeah,
a little
but
bit stronger
Here's the thing.
and save them.
Why the fuck is it in a cartoon for kids?
Well, he just said it isn't. It's not for kids. It's for like
Isn't
It's like
into young
it's
adult.
what is that, Disney XD? So that's like kind of like the
Things aimed at,
16 and above
Yeah.
cartoon,
Like 14 and up. Like
where
age
it's still
range.
like the cartoon feel, but it's for young adults. So like I'd say 15, 16. I'd say all the way the demographics probably aimed at stops around 25, maybe.
For sure.
But what I'm saying is the whole show was centered around she went through a portal into this essentially horror show world where there's like magic and witches and all this other stuff. And then a tiny side note is that she's gay and she has a girl she likes. That's it. It's not like, they're like smooching every 5 seconds. They're not talking about how they're gay. I don't even think it gets brought up once that they're gay. It's just like she gets those rosy cheeks when she sees the one girl, and then I think later in the first part of season 2, they finally get together. But that's like by get together, they're like an item. That's it. They're not like I think they kiss like twice in the whole show. That's it. And Disney canceled it because they wanted to stop doing shows that were centered around young adults. They wanted to go back to
kid cartoons.
Yeah, kid cartoons where like it's the demographic is like 3 to fucking 12.
Basically they didn't want to make animated anything for people over like 12.
Yeah. And I mean,
And
I
a lot of-
understand
here's
it
the thing,
sort of,
But here's
but
the thing, though. It's like cartoons like 10, 20 years ago were good, even if they were aimed for kids. Now they're just like garbage that they pump out endlessly.
All Real Monsters was based for kids. Kids, not young adults, kids.
Yeah, Our Real Monsters was the shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Invader Zim, all of them.
What about
Invader Zim was fucked, but also really rad.
It
Yeah,
was,
that was also based for kids.
Yeah.
was Kim Possible for kids or like?
No, that was young adults
Nah,
because
yeah,
she was a
young
teen
adults.
herself.
Ren
Yeah,
and
it's true.
Stimpy
Ren and
was
Stimpy.
for kids and was
Well, that was young adults because
Yeah.
they had the vulgarity and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But yeah, it's 1 and 1. They love like I feel like Disney's making a mistake. Like I don't know if you know the content or not the content creator, but the animator Alex Hirsch.
Oh,
He
yeah.
made Gravity
Heard of him.
Falls, Owl House.
He made a lot of.
He's done
like, young adult teen.
he's done animating and I think some other stuff for Rick and Morty. So like he's an accomplished guy and they were like, "Nah, let's not keep this going." Like he makes these expansive worlds and storylines and storyboards on these cartoons, but
whatever happened to Roiland?
Justin Roiland?
obscurity.
Yeah.
He beat the charge and that's kind of the last anyone heard from him, at least I think so.
You know what I think? I
What?
think I hope he did it.
What was
Well
the allegation?
If he
again?
got off, I hope he didn't.
I hope he did.
Why?
What did he do again?
Um,
Allegedly
underage.
Kidnap
Oh,
someone.
gross.
Underage. He was talking to underage girls.
Oh, is that what it was? I thought
Yeah.
he like kidnapped someone and held them against their will.
I think he did that. That was like the main thing, but he was also talking to underage girls on.
Oh, not the underage thing, not that. The kidnapping thing, yeah, totally. That
There's
would
a
have been cool.
there's a wrestler that I know in this fucking area who just went. I think last year went to prison because he kidnapped an underage girl and tried to take her across state lines.
That's fucked.
It
Quite.
is.
And I knew him.
Here's
That's the worst part.
Here's my.
never-
You want a
that's
hot take? Here's my
shooting.
hot take. This
Wolfenstein Skull.
this world is overrun with heretics and they need to be destroyed,
Cleansed, I think the proper word is.
cleansed with fire and
Should,
extreme
hellfire.
prejudice.
We should make a show out of it. We should have gladiator fights, but they actually kill each other.
We
It's
should
just
we
like-
should
No.
we should have a show where we execute the
Well,
fucking
no, because
impure.
that's too easy.
I think
And I also think
we
that
should
falls under
dose
terrorism.
them. We should put all of the pedophiles into a prison. Keep all the doors unlocked. dose them with heavy amounts of LSD, and then see what happens.
We should use them as test subjects.
No.
And maybe
What we do-
they'll rape each other to death.
We put
That
them.
might be
We
something.
lock them all in a massive concrete box,
The size of
And-
Wyoming.
and we dose them
We should just lock them in
with
Wyoming.
Yeah.
insane amounts
Build
of
a wall
LSD.
around Wyoming.
Insane amounts of LSD.
They're on a
And
permanent
then
trip.
on an unbearably loud volume, we play the sounds of slaughterhouses on repeat while we berate them with strobe lights.
Only when they're about to go to sleep.
There
The
is
strobing lights
no,
are-
it never ends.
No, I think they should get that sense of calmness from the non-strobe, and then they're like, "Oh my god, I can finally bear the noise of the slaughterhouse."
And then every 30
then,
minutes, overhead sprinklers will douse them with cattle
Pig's
blood,
Yeah.
like in Blade.
what about
You remember that
urine?
nightclub in Blade?
Oh,
They're just
yeah.
gonna be pissing everywhere anyway.
No, there's going to be like functioning bathrooms.
And then,
That's fair.
and then after a week,
we want to spray the pee on them. We don't want the pee to be there.
and then
That's- you know
after
what?
a
Fair
week,
point.
We don't want their pee there.
after a week, we drop in improvised weapons,
See, that's
and
I
we
feel
tell
like
them that the sole survivor gets to leave, but then we're gonna execute him.
we should again. I think we should just turn this into a gladiator
This does
type
sound
arena
interesting.
thing, and then just have them kill each other
Hear me out.
via that.
Hear me out.
I'm hearing you.
No improvised weapons. After 2 weeks of constant doses of LSD in their water, so it never goes away.
No, that's in the sprinklers too. It's in the blood.
Okay, I'm down for that. 2 weeks in, we drop 3 grizzly bears.
Oh,
I don't want to do that to the bears.
What are they gonna do to the bears?
Get AIDS from their blood.
We don't want.
You want to be responsible for giving 3 grizzly bears AIDS, Paul?
Yeah.
No.
how about polar bears?
Do you want to do that to bears? Do you want to have them
No.
eat on tainted meat?
Corrupted flesh, grizzly
Maybe
bears.
maybe we'll cure them of AIDS. We'll make sure they don't have any bloodborne pathogens,
By
and
just
then we'll
taking
bring
all
them
their
in.
blood out.
Maybe.
Bleed them dry.
I mean, I've seen
We
some
should
pictures
mass
of some
mummify them.
gnarly
How are we getting
grizzly bears.
Did you just say we'll just cure them of AIDS?
Yeah.
Just casually?
Yeah, no, is it? We'll casually cure them of
You
AIDS,
you
right?
tell me,
casually
cure
them of
you
AIDS.
all 3 of you tell me right now that you don't believe the government has a cure for AIDS.
I
No, we
don't.
have the cure for AIDS, and that's to kill
We
all
had
the gay
it since
people.
1985.
I don't think. we
Prove
did.
me wrong.
I also don't think. I don't
I
think
can't
we
prove
have
you're
the
right
cure for
either,
cancer
is the
yet
problem.
because you can't
Exactly.
cure cellular degeneration.
I mean, it can go in remission.
It can.
I literally know a person who beat AIDS.
Well, AIDS. Oh,
AIDS.
yes.
That's what we're talking about.
Well, I said cancer.
No, fuck. I mean, cancer.
I don't think we can beat cancer yet.
No.
I mean,
Well,
we can beat it.
the
like, you
government can.
Nah,
What was that? Magic Johnson?
I don't think people are.
If you have
immune.
Magic Johnson kind of money, you can
You
beat
do
any
not
kind of cancer.
personally know Magic Johnson.
No, I don't know. I don't know Magic. I'm saying if you
I
got
thought that was the guy that you were claiming to personally
no,
know.
no. I won't say his name. But yeah, he is of the same persuasion, and yeah, some bad things happen to him and resulting in AIDS. But
That sounds grisly, whatever you're talking about.
yeah, bad things.
No.
How do you get AIDS by bad things?
Raped?
Yeah,
drugs,
no, just rape.
Injection
Just rape.
needles.
just rape.
I feel like if you got AIDS by drugs, that's your doing. If you got raped
Jesus
and got
Christ,
AIDS,
Could you imagine getting raped and then on top of that you got AIDS?
That's just a double whammy.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
It's a real get fucked
How
by
do
the
you come back
universe.
from that?
you don't.
You don't.
There's no rebounding.
You keel over.
That's awful. Don't wish that upon anyone.
So I'm out on the grizzly bears.
Polar bears.
No, because
No.
They
they're
hunt
eating the blood.
people.
They're eating the blood. That's where they're getting the AIDS. They're ingesting tainted blood.
What if we supersize a Komodo dragon and just throw it in there?
What if we figure out a way to make someone immune from AIDS and then give that to the bear?
A lot of research into this.
Yeah, you're pumping way more money
That's
than needs to be.
entirely unnecessary.
What if
we can make money from the gladiator?
What if
arena?
we cure AIDS by doing this? Or make it the world immune to it.
We will cure AIDS by killing the gays.
Well,
now you're on the gays. Yeah, you've switched.
We're gonna go to
pedophiles.
pedophiles. We're not going to gays.
Yeah,
that is a hot
I
take.
We were on. I thought this was containing the gays.
No, never.
No, this is for pedophiles.
It's all the same.
It's not.
It is.
There are normal gays.
No, they're all pedophiles.
They're not all pedophiles.
They really aren't.
And if they're not directly pedophiles, they support pedophilia.
I think.
Who are you, and where are these hot takes
know
coming?
who the fuck I am. I'm fucking Thrinson Gripple, and I have hard stances on this topic.
I have many hills I die on.
And the hills I die on are the fucking mounds of corpses of gays and pedophiles.
Jesus. Anywho.
Curing AIDS.
No, we're not going there.
No?
We're not going there. That's a pipe dream that the government will release when they're ready.
That's
back to...
Have you guys seen any fucking skinwalkers?
When I was younger, I was walking home from a friend's house, and there was this blur of a entity that made wind gust behind me, and then it happened again, and my friend was there to see it. We both saw it, so I saw this thing twice. I don't know what it was, but it was fast, and it didn't want to hurt me because it just ran past.
You saw it. You say it's an entity. Is it?
I have something.
I think it was a werewolf, maybe.
A bit terrified. Werewolf?
Yeah.
What a take.
Because it was like a brown blur.
Brown blur. I have something that I just remembered. About a great many years ago, probably a decade now, I was sitting at my friend's house. We were smoking cigarettes and shooting the shit late at night at the base or at the edge of his property. There was this huge rock, and on the other side of the street was I'd say about 3 feet of grass and then cornfield. And this cornfield went on for a while. And we're sitting there talking to each other, whatnot. And then...
You bastards.
He forgot his eggs.
Yeah.
Eggs.
Thrinzers forgot his eggs.
We all forgot that.
Thrinson, it's been way too long. Those eggs are fucked.
We see a man walking on the edge of the cornfield. Not saying anything to anybody, doesn't even look at us. Wearing tattered clothes, didn't have anything in his hand, didn't have a pitchfork or anything, and then just walks into the cornfield. We see maybe I'd say 3 or 4 rows below as you would assume that someone would walk through, and then nothing.
Sounds like he was returning to the soil.
And we quickly ran after that. I'd say we probably waited for 3 or 4 minutes, hoping that it's just a dude. Just a dude. Maybe he stopped to tie a shoe, or maybe he stopped to grab something. Who knows?
Walking in a cornfield.
Nope.
Walking in a
It shouldn't take anyone 3 or 4 minutes to continue moving. So yeah. But he didn't look because when there was no one else around. We're sitting there talking. We're not being quiet. And he's maybe 15, 20 feet away from us. So he heard us. He did not look at us once.
That's some real fucky behavior.
Yeah.
You look at someone if they're talking. That's
even if you're if you're a jogger and you're walking past,
you'll look at someone just to make sure that they're not going to bump into you or something.
Yeah. Or who's that? Oh, okay, just just a couple of kids, whatever. And then go on about your business. Never once.
That's fucked.
Did he look at you from a distance without you noticing?
And the worst part, it was very close to I'd say maybe 50 to 75
Cemetery?
feet away from a house.
Oh, okay.
The man that we saw, there is no person in that house that looks like that.
Ah, lovely. That's not ideal.
Because we checked the day after. We went to that house and knocked on the door, and there was like an old lady and an old man who was wheelchair bound.
Jesus.
So like he ain't walking nowhere.
That's Yeah, do you Jason have any stories of this nonsense?
Most of my stories aren't exactly, well, you could say they got debunked over time, where people came up with like their side of the story, or friends messing with you and you didn't know for a long time. Let's see. For instance, when I was younger, probably around the age of 12, we were going to play a game of Manhunt out at a camp, and I had a few friends at the time. We were playing, and it was one guy hiding in a field. We didn't know where. Found out later he was not in that field. He actually went back to the campsite. He got bored. So so we were sitting looking around this field. It is pitch dark out, just a little bit of moonlight. We didn't have any flashlights. We didn't have our phones. It was intended to simply be a spur of the moment, try your best, and see where it goes. So we're walking in this open field, can't find anything. This man has disappeared off the face of the earth. So we're in the middle of the field. We're looking around. We take one step. One guy trips over, and I go to help pick him up, and I pick up a shirt.
I'm sorry?
I pick up just a shirt, and I'm like, what the fuck? Huh? And I look over, and I don't have my light. I don't have a light. I start like feeling where he was. He's not there. He starts talking to me from 10 feet behind me, asking me what I'm trying to do. And then he took his shirt off like a whole minute ago. And I'm like, what? You just took. Time didn't feel real. It was
Yeah,
weird.
but you don't have a perception of time that
Yes. My
works.
perception of time is definitely flawed. But I tell you what, when you don't have a light in the middle of the night, you get a little better
You
at time
also have
perception.
told me you vividly hallucinate in reality.
It happens.
That's not normal.
Couldn't relate. It's normal for me.
No one does that. That's exclusive to you and psychotic
Have
people.
your parents?
Also didn't help that there was some random other camper that wanted to mess with us and started running at us on all fours.
Jesus.
Screaming.
You
That
know
was
what?
funny.
I'd be terrified that someone could efficiently run on all fours.
It was pretty
Oh
efficient,
my god!
actually.
I saw a video once of U.S. soldiers chilling in a Middle Eastern country, and then one of them, there were some kids nearby, and he
Yep.
just on all fours just starts sprinting at them
Love that video.
like really fast. It's spooky.
I mean, I saw
What
a
are they
guy.
feeding them?
I saw
What
a
are
guy
they
on
feeding the
TikTok
soldiers?
who's been like training
Yeah.
to walk on all fours, and
Why?
apparently it builds up arm muscles and
I don't
stuff
don't
like
care
that.
the purpose. You're just trying to be creepy.
Oh yeah, I mean yeah. There's a level of creepiness that training yourself to be able to efficiently run or walk on all fours garners, but I don't know. I mean, good for him.
Maybe adrenaline.
I
Maybe you
used
can
to,
just tap some adrenaline.
I used to do that with my friends. So up the road is this. We used to like walk up to Turkey Hill in the middle of the night to the gas station to get snacks and shit. And it's like dark and desolate up there, on the roads up to the store at like 3 a.m. So we'd go up there and we would wait till we saw headlights coming, and then we would fucking get down on all fours and take our clothes off and run naked across the road on all fours.
That is.
Oh my god! I wonder how many people have a story about that.
And
That
it's
they're
just
convinced is a
you.
monster and it's not and not a human.
That's what's great about life.
No, I mean like how naked?
I mean, naked.
Like
Stark.
balls free?
Yeah.
That's.
Yeah, for sure. Full naked.
No
Crazy.
shoes?
No shoes.
Damn.
No, you gotta go all the way if
That
you're
is
doing it. You know what I mean?
so-
Well, yeah.
It's not scary if you have like boxers on.
I feel like it'd be more scary if you had shoes on.
But what you had
Monsters
to do,
don't have shoes.
You don't know that.
but
So you're
the
scared of
real-
the monster because
so it was scary, right? But the real like selling factor on the scariness is there was a trick to doing it right, and the trick to doing it right was that you had to let your head and neck be as limp as possible so it swayed with your running gait across the road.
Awful.
That will do it.
It's awful.
Yeah.
You are an
I want
anomaly.
to get a video of this at some point. I just
He wants to get a video of you naked.
On all
Let's fucking
fours.
calm down, Chief.
He's
Just
all
sounds fun,
about
man.
the nudity.
Let's take it down a notch.
Full
Yeah.
frontal. HBO Max only.
Just
I would
imagine
like to
someone
point
doing
out
in
that
the
you
middle of
guys
the woods.
ruined my eggs.
I thought you said you couldn't ruin eggs. They
They can be ruined if all the water boils away and they're just sitting on a hot plate.
That would be a
Hey, they're just
problem.
fried eggs now. They're fried hard-boiled eggs now. Are they gross now?
Are they bad?
Yeah, I
He
got
clearly
mad and I crushed them in my fists and threw them out the
He
window.
clearly didn't have.
Did you really throw them out the window?
Yes, they're in my backyard right now.
Oh. How many eggs did you make?
3.
Oh,
Oh man, that
that is quite unfortunate.
Yes, I'm disappointed.
Maybe you should have put more water in.
Maybe you motherfuckers should have done the one thing I asked you to do and reminded me.
Maybe you should.
None
have,
of you did!
Maybe you should have a better memory.
I can't.
So now that I know that I can't rely on any of you faggots, here I have a fucking timer going.
For the next set.
Yes.
Of egg yolk.
Version 2.0. Eggs.
Why did eggs become so expensive?
That's a good question.
AIDS.
It's the
Is it AIDS?
I'm
Is
sorry,
it egg AIDS?
When isn't it AIDS?
You know what they call eggs nowadays? It's the oil of the chicken.
Chicken oil.
Nice.
What?
Yeah. it's the untapped reserve. You gotta
Oil, you say? We are American.
you gotta get the
chicken oil?
the most profitable part of the chicken is the egg.
It's like
true.
black gold.
Yeah, Texas
white.
tea.
You know about that chicken that's like all black
Yes,
but
I
shits a
do.
white egg?
I think
Like
that's,
its meat is black.
what the fuck?
Its bones are black. It's just all black. It's pigmented entirely black, and then it just shits a white egg.
I think that's just how it's made.
That's that is probably just how eggs are made.
Then again, why? Are
What a
there-
weird concept. Why
Yeah.
don't we shit eggs?
Because we're not birds or reptiles.
Why would we shit eggs?
Because it'd be so much more efficient.
It
How
would
is
be.
that efficient?
The pregnant women could do things.
our eggs happen inside of us?
Yeah, but if we shit out a real, like a solid egg, we could just ignore that.
Yeah, but we're
egg.
not reptiles. We're marsupials.
We should become reptiles.
Imagine growing up.
We
and
should
you hear
become
one guy
half
say,
reptiles.
"I was born with lack
We
of
should be like
both
platypuses.
parents."
Did any of you ever see that? It was a couple years ago. They came out with that incubator for babies. One day in the future.
That sounds
It's,
dystopian as hell.
Oh, you mean where they take your egg or your girl's
Sounds
egg
like-
and your sperm and make a baby and it just grows in a tube?
That sounds like
No,
something.
it
they-
grows in like a fucking like a bubble, and it's like on on your end table.
That sounds like something they like.
Knock
designed.
your baby over, you lost your baby.
Sounds like something. They,
I've lost my baby in the move.
Holy fuck! Can I get this sentence out? Jesus Christ! I don't even want to anymore.
But now I want to know.
No.
All
Live
right.
with your fucking failures.
Wouldn't not having the kid inside the woman kind of take almost all the maternity out of it? Wouldn't that remove most of your
It gives women to gallivant about town.
It's a capitalist society's way of making women still be able to work. It's bullshit.
Truly is.
I mean, we're in America. Pregnant women still have to fucking work.
Yeah, but now
They
they can
never
work.
don't.
But here's the thing: now they can work extra hard because they don't have a baby.
They don't have the
You can't-
pregnancy
Yeah,
restrictions.
You can't force them. You can't force them to work while pregnant. But hey, if the baby's in a tube, you
wanna
can
hear
force them to
something
work
I mean,
hard.
if they have a job when they get pregnant, they still have to come to work.
Well, it depends on the job. You might have.
As they should.
I don't think that's.
Oh,
how
no.
it works.
Why?
Right.
They fought for the right to fucking work. Now they have to.
I mean,
For sure.
they asked for it, and then guys did.
But
it.
like other countries, once you hit a certain trimester, your job just continues to pay you, and you get to sit home. And then I think you get like something like 6 months of paternity leave.
Yeah, and dudes
maternity leave.
Dudes also.
You also get paternity leave.
Yeah, paternity leave is also. a thing in
The
other
husband
countries.
gets off, I think, half the time, so 3 months,
So he can actually spend time.
And
with
there's also
his
I mean,
paid
that's pretty
child.
rad.
right?
Yeah.
So, like, because in America, after spending $150,000 on essentially giving birth,
Working is slavery.
Yeah.
yes,
Yes.
and it was a terrible idea that somehow spawned out of
Hey, at least
slave labor.
it's not ideal, but at least it's 9 to 5 and not forever now.
Do you realize?
You mean not the 6 days?
Do you
but only
understand that
5?
9 to 5
Is
Yeah.
a
is
myth.
working an 8-hour workday is a third of your life?
It is. It
So
is.
sleeping.
And if you work 8
And-
hours, you're not getting paid 40 hours a week.
Another third of your life is sleeping, which leaves 1/3 of your life.
To do things, I know. It's
And you still have
It
to fill
sucks.
bathroom breaks, eating, going out with friends, everything.
Think about it, Jake.
in that.
what?
If you work 5/8,
Mm-hmm.
it's 40 hours.
Yes.
Then you have to subtract the half hour of lunch every day.
Yeah.
It depends. Some places pay you for lunch.
Not many.
All but no places pay
I
you
was
for
paid-
lunch anymore.
I was paid for lunch.
I was too, but that position was there was reasons for that.
How long was your lunch?
30 minutes.
And they paid it for you, so you never clocked out until the end of the day.
Oh no, I clocked out and then they paid it anyway. They just wanted to know when I took my lunch.
That's weird. That's very weird.
I don't know. That's
And technically, in the state of PA, they don't have to give you lunch.
which is dumb.
That
If
is
you're over
very
the
dumb.
age of 18, you do not have to get a lunch.
Which is
Shit,
just
that explains
another
a lot.
just another reason why working is dumb.
So I worked at a warehouse.
Well, I
would
mean,
explain why
certain
there's no
jobs
lunch
need
break.
done, but that's what we make robots for.
No, certain jobs do need done. I will grant you that. But I feel like they need to pay people certain amount of money
Oh no,
to do
yeah.
said
People do
things.
need to be paid more than they're currently being paid, or they need to stop making everything more expensive. One of the two things has to happen. Money either has to have more value, or we have to be given more money. But then some people say you give them more money, then everything has to go up. But no, you don't, because you already have a decent amount of profit you can just cut.
They also say
They don't see it that way.
Well, the things can stay expensive because I don't. Inflation doesn't go backwards. It doesn't.
I know, but
They need to pay people more. And their whole argument is, if we give them more, we'll have to raise prices. No, you won't, because the minimum wage hasn't been raised in 20 years,
yeah,
15
it's,
years, $7.25.
at least in PA, and even in states where it's 15, that's not enough to live on. You make like what? What is that? 12?
In those states, it's not.
Well, no, but what is it like? If you make 15 an hour, that's 15 times what? 40, so like 600 a week.
Roughly.
Which I mean, times 52, you're barely breaking 30.
I make $15.50 currently. My checks are roughly about $9.50.
and that's on a 2-week pay, right?
Correct. After
Which is-
taxes,
Mm-hmm.
it's about $9.50, $9.80.
So
in
you
that
get
range.
so you get 950 26 times a year,
Correct.
which is not
Not
that
e-
much money.
That's not even 26K
No, it's
a
not.
year.
It's a pittance.
If people got paid like $40,000 a year, I feel like people would spend more money than they do now.
For sure.
I feel like people forget that in an economy, people have to also spend the money that they make,
We're
And
built
when you
on that.
raise prices, people spend money less, except for the
Which is-
ultra wealthy.
which people then hoard the money, and then people hoarding the money makes it so that the money
Yeah.
goes up and
I mean,
everything
you
goes
figure
up. It's,
back
it's
in
a
the
cycle.
day, people had
Positive feedback loop.
expendable
No,
income.
negative.
No,
That's a-
positive. Positive means it reoccurs itself. Negative means it ends itself.
That's not what those
Science,
things,
bitch.
that's
Look
not
it
what-
up.
That's
I
not
will.
what those
I
mean.
will
A
give you a
negative
schooling
feedback
on
loop
it.
makes things negative.
It's not. It's not what it means.
No, it's like negative reinforcement. Negative feedback loop means
I
things
had a
go-
class about this.
I don't care. What were,
Were you
saying?
sleeping in that class?
No, I had to pay attention.
Like
you do porn,
okay,
you
so
have
New
to.
York, the
Yeah.
average The average single person to afford a 2-bedroom apartment.
Is this in the heart of the city, or is this elsewhere?
This is just average New York.
Okay.
So this is like the outside, the inside, all put together to make an average.
All right.
$40 an hour
Is what they would need to.
for a single person to afford a 2-bedroom apartment.
Well, a single person doesn't need a 2-bedroom.
Yeah. Unless they want to have.
I mean, if you have friends that stay over,
Yeah.
anything like that. But yeah, that's just a
Just a metric. Yeah.
that's just a metric. What is it? I think we're at 24 for PA. Is the average.
That sounds about right.
I mean, there are some cities in PA that
It's more.
you could fucking buy a house for 13 grand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not far from those areas, but I'm not willing to drive from those areas into Harrisburg or Mechanicsburg because that's where the jobs are.
Yeah, that's that's like what, an hour from most of these places for
Oh, yeah.
cheap home.
I have a coworker who drives all the way down from fucking Shamokin.
I don't know what
Jesus.
that is. That's how
You know
far-
State College?
Nope.
Have you ever heard of State College?
I've heard of it.
Okay, State College is about hour 45, 2 hours away.
Jesus.
Shamokin is about an hour and 15.
So driving, that's 2.5 hours of driving every day. For commute.
Yes.
Imagine
And
the
That's if you don't stop anywhere.
Yeah, that's true.
That's if you don't get gas,
That's if
coffee,
traffic is good.
anything. Yeah, and if traffic
You
goes
can-
your way.
You can drive to Italy from France faster than that man can commute.
Yeah, it's insane.
to his job.
Oh man, that is
Thrinson.
Yes.
What a weird
Go
glare.
on.
What, huh?
Thrinson.
Thrinson.
Is that a family name?
Yes. Bulgarian.
Oh,
Or as we call it, Bulgarian.
Nice.
all right.
Is there a
It's
specific
a
reason
strong,
about that?
strong name, Thrinson.
Yes. Yeah. Thrinson Gripple.
Gribble.
Gripple, yeah.
Gripple.
So I know, last
Wonder
names
who's
kind of
gripping.
came from what you did and stuff like that.
What'd you do?
What is gripple? Was that a root
Oh,
word
it's-
for grapple? Was your family family of grapplers?
No, Gripple evolved from the incredibly tight tolerances of our anuses.
Nice.
So your family had tight anuses.
Yes.
You were
Yes.
known. Your family was
and
known
I don't,
for that.
I don't appreciate that you used the word "had" as in the past tense. Do not underestimate the
So-
gripping strength of my sphincter.
Can you sever a finger?
Oh yeah, and have. Yeah, I think there's a couple rings that permanently live inside me.
Wedding rings.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've ruined families.
There's a tit to the door.
Homewrecker. Homewrecker.
Yeah, in the mid 1700s, my family owned and operated the first foreskin factory where we removed adult foreskins with our anuses.
That's an
That sounds-
impressive feat of control for
Sure
your
hope they were
anuses.
female.
Yes, yes.
Well, it was a job, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't make you gay.
I feel like
And that's why that's why the family of Gripple is old money.
Got it.
I see.
Got
It's
it.
that old money.
We got that foreskin money.
I saw a post once that was like, "Would you pick cotton for $200 an hour?" And I was like,
Bro,
I
would
do
go
some
naked in that field.
I do some terrible
doing
things
that.
for $200 an hour.
Oh my gosh,
It,
$200 an
I
hour.
calculated that's like 200 grand a year with taxes.
we
Like
take
af-
that.
Yeah.
We take
Is that like
that.
an 8-hour day?
Yeah.
Oh,
Bro, put me on a 16-hour shift. I don't give a damn.
yeah. I'll just
That
live.
money?
I'll just live in the field.
Never leave.
Yeah, and then I'll just come out like
Retire.
a year later
after,
and be
like-
good.
Yeah, it's it's like most people, if you could budget, which most poor people can, it's like what $1.5 million is.
No,
Perfect.
but I would stand to disagree.
Poor people,
A lot of poor people can't.
What if they were given a million?
No. A lot of poor people can't budget.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
fair.
work in a place that proves that
You know what?
on the regular.
You got a fair point.
Like people, I mean, there's so many people that just essentially try to steal from us. But there's also the factor of they're like, oh well, I can't afford it this week. Can you push it so I can make a double payment next week? So what they're essentially saying is, I'm okay with paying the late fee because I went out last night and spent a lot of money or something, or I bought something I probably shouldn't have bought outright instead of saving.
Doesn't make sense.
If I was single and didn't have a girlfriend or dogs, I would be loaded right now. I don't eat. I mean, I barely buy myself anything. Like the clothes I have on my back, 9 times out of 10, my girlfriend has forced me into buying or just bought for me, because if I am going to buy something, it takes me months to convince myself to
That
hit
is,
the buy button.
When's the last time you bought new shoes?
Well, I mean, didn't you just
The Crocs,
Yeah.
and they were on sale, or else I wouldn't have bought them. The shoes before that were $150. They're the most expensive shoe I ever bought.
Damn.
And it still took me 3 months. And I had the money. We had the money in savings to buy them.
Like
It still
you
took
found
me
shoes
3
for
months.
$1.50,
150.
150. Okay. I was
$150.
gonna say, how is that the most expensive shoe you ever?
I have gone to, when I used to go to the mall, I would buy like a smoothie. Like if I had like $10 left and I bought a smoothie for like $4 or something, I'd be walking out and realize I have one cigarette left, get real upset, and
Throw
like
the smoothie on the
and
ground.
throw the fucking smoothie on the ground.
And then be upset that you threw the smoothie
Oh
on the
yeah,
ground.
yeah. I mean, I never said my a lot of my choices were correct, but fuck, I get oh my god, like spending money gives me anxiety.
Same.
We had that the COVID money. We were getting steady streams of delicious COVID money.
Yeah, and it was supposed to boost the economy, and then people saved it. Some people did.
No
Smart
one
people
saved
did.
it.
You know what? That's fair.
No one fucking saved it, and I couldn't save it because I didn't get paid. They didn't pay me for like 4 months, and then
Yeah,
gave me a
that's,
cash settlement, or
Bro,
not a
I
cash
saved
settlement,
it.
but like a bulk of it for the past money that I missed.
Yeah.
It was like 18 grand, or I think like 22 grand, something like that. I had to pay all my back bills, and then all the late fees that came with it. So like I
Yeah,
didn't have a whole lot
it's,
left. I bought a fence where I was living from, and that was about it.
Good drugs.
But like I had the money. We had the money for like grocery shopping and stuff, and I'd see a bill, or I'd see a grocery bill for like 150, and I'd still have to walk away for her to complete the purchase.
Oh no.
Like if it was me, I'd have been like, no. Put that back. I don't need that. I don't eat that. Fuck that. No. I don't need any of this. I can drink water.
Oh, man.
I don't need to eat this week. And then get it down to like $50.
I don't need to eat this week.
That
Are
is
you
What
kidding
a
me?
statement.
On a given week, I maybe spend $20 on food,
Damn.
and that's like beef jerky.
I
It's like
found out.
2 beef sticks a day, maybe.
I found out if you ever are poor and need calories, buy a Costco pizza.
Yeah.
A single slice of that 12-slice pizza is 780 calories.
Oh my god,
Poor man's delight.
It's
that
insane.
sounds terrible.
More efficient are cashews.
And those cookies I brought.
It's,
Is that
oh
like
yeah, those
300 calories a
dense-ass
cookie?
cookies?
Yeah, they're ridiculous.
Jesus.
Hey,
That could
we-
sustain someone.
again, we've made food dense as fuck now. It's just full of energy.
Yeah.
If people in the old days, I remember someone talking about this, if people in the
In the
In
the
like the
late 19th century.
I was gonna say like 1800s had
The
food,
last
had the food
generation.
we had, they would be bulky as shit. They'd be like built
Oh,
because
yeah.
all the hard work they're doing. Then they just have the calories to sustain that,
Oh yeah.
which is
Also,
Wild.
like, hundreds and hundreds of years ago, being fat Actually, not even 100, not even hundreds, just like 100 years ago,
People,
being fat was a sign, was a status symbol.
it was. I remember there was
Then
this.
70% of the population hate it.
There was this. It's not 70, but
Sure feels it.
there was this.
The chunky America.
There was this fat guy that was like 1909. People literally came to see him, and he was only like 500 pounds. And you see people that are like
Only?
way bigger than that.
It's true.
Oh yeah.
Very
It's-
Was that my 800-pound life?
Yes.
Baffling. How do you become that inept at physicality that
And
you
live with
just-
It's not inept. It's a choice. It's
is.
a choice to not put down the fork.
Yeah, because like you have to eat an insane amount of calories to do that. Like you could eat 4,000 calories a day and then balance out somewhere in like the 300s and still be able to move.
Oh yeah. I mean, so well, it depends on your body makeup.
It does. But
I weighed 340 at my heaviest. I weighed 230 at my lightest as an adult. I couldn't see a difference, and I lost 100 pounds. I couldn't see a difference. People were like, "Oh my God, you look so good," and all I could see is like, "Oh, I guess my face got a little slimmer." Oh.
Yeah.
When people notice it in your face, you've got a ways to go.
it's fair.
It's where all the fat goes,
It's
in your face.
yeah,
Baby
it does.
face.
Anyway, we're at an hour now, so I think it's about time we wrap
Don't you
this up.
tell anyone we're at an hour.
No,
They'll figure it out.
they know we're at an hour.
So if you listen and you're still listening,
Do the stuff. Comment, like, subscribe, please.
email us at the email that I don't know. Jake, do you know the email?
I do, but don't email us unless you want to sponsor us.
No. You shut your mouth. You email us with questions and maybe if you
Oh,
have topics
that
You know
and
would
what?
be-
stuff.
That's fair.
That would be
do
helpful.
do that.
Don't you limit our
Also leave it
thriving
in the comments.
fan base?
Leave it in the comments and email me. Us.
We're open to nudes.
Yeah.
Honestly,
you know
yeah.
what? Sure.
We'll rate
Guys,
We'll rate those
thruples, women,
You don't want to
cute
say that
pictures
last
of dogs,
it. Dogs.
funny cat memes. Send it all.
Do everything.
Get that one dog that looks at you and says stuff like your rot
Make
pocket is
300
showing.
comments on this one episode.
Yeah, and if you want us to sponsor you and make a little funny of stuff for your company, sure, give us money and we'll do it. I like money. I don't know if Thrincent likes money.
We really
He's
don't.
old money, so he may not need it.
Yeah, I grew tired of money long ago.
He has
Yeah.
that generational wealth
Yeah.
going for him, but he won't share it with us. That's why we need the money.
Yeah.
And if it ever disappears, I always have my sphincter.
We're not
That's
too
true.
sure if Thrincent will be back. He might. But it was nice talking to you today, Thrincent.
Yep. Great meeting you.
Gripplehorn.
I wish I could say the same.
All right. Well, that's the end of this. See y'all next time on another